What's happening, people? Shay here, uneven bounce up you guys as well. So, very impromptu live stream today between me and Cyan Banerjee, aka Bush Your Nuts. Obviously, Cyan, you've seen all the shows, but literally, I had a bit of time left over. So, I thought, you know what? I'm going to stream for a couple of weeks just due to my schedule. So, I thought, you know what? Let's just do a quick one now. And we thought we'd talk about, obviously, the T20 squads, as the title says. So, we're talking about the T20 squads today. Obviously, got discussing both our sides, England and India. Obviously, we'll discuss both. We'll both talk about each team, and we'll start with England. So quickly, I'll reel off the squad for England and the upcoming World Cup. So we've got Captain Owen Morgan, Moeen Ali, Johnny Bairstow, Sam Billings, Josh Butler, Sam Curran, Chris Jordan, Liam Livingston, David Milan. Tamar Mills makes a return. Adil Rashid, Jason Roy, David Willey makes a squad. Obviously, after his heartbreak 2 years ago of missing the cut for the 50 over World Cup, Chris Wokes and Mark Wood. Travelling reserves: Tom Curran, Liam Dawson, and James Vince. So I'll start with you there, Sign. You can tell me what your initial thoughts are on England's squad. If you want me to go through it again or anyone, just let me know.
So I feel the squad is pretty much balanced. However, I feel that they have gone spinners a bit short. They could have taken someone like Matt Parkinson
Very
in
interesting.
there,
Okay.
and also Timal Mills is a surprise addition. I would say, although he had a great 100, he's
Yeah.
that guy who offers you 145 pace, and
Yes,
he hits the
absolutely.
length hard along with his slowers, making him a good death bowler. That is something England would need in the absence of Jofra Archer. Uh,
Mm.
Saying that, also the return of Chris Wokes, that is something they have done very well. Seeing that Ben Stokes won't be available, so he's kind of a that all round option. He gives you that. Also, I feel Sam Billings is a great backup option.
Mm.
However, I feel in place of David Malan in a place like UAE where the ball spins a lot in pitches like Dubai and Sharjah, I think they could have taken Joe Root into consideration, looking at
Yeah, I think it's a very good shout.
how well he plays spin. So yeah, that is my initial thought. However, the squad is pretty much balanced. Yeah.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I'm just, as you know, I'm over the moon ecstatic. There's no Tom Curran in the 15. I know he's a travel reserve. The floater, as I term him, because no matter how much you flush, you can never get that one down, But Tom Curran, he still lingers around. He's part of the travelling reserves. Maybe on those pitches, we'll find the UAE and Oman that will obviously see maybe, depending on the type of pitch we'll get there, his change-ups might work, but I don't really see a place for him at all in this tournament for Tom Curran. I don't see, even if someone gets injured, I think they'll look to other people, obviously, in the 15 to deputise. I mean, you look at Wood, you've got Mills, you've got Jordan, you've got Wokes, you've got Sam Curran. Those five, obviously, the nucleus, for the pace bowling options. I'm extremely, extremely excited about Tyler Mills. I mean, listen, for me, England were favourites in this tournament if Jofra Archer was definitely fit. Sorry, bouncing it down here. But Jofra Archer is not fit, obviously, and I think they've looked at a like-for-like replacement. Now, listen, they have Mark Wood, who Archer and Wood have developed a really good rapport as an opening bowling combination in T20 cricket, as they saw over the last 12 months, 12 to 18 months. They've obviously lost Jofra Archer. Obviously, Sussex teammate Mills comes into it. I think Mills's return to fitness and form is superbly timed. As you said before, for Southern Brave, he's part of the winning side that won the competition. He was excellent at competition. He did pretty well actually in the semi-final and finals day last week. They got knocked
Yeah,
out
yeah.
by Kent, wasn't it? Knocked him out in the second game was. But he got spanked in the first over, but he showed good composure to come back and I think took 3 wickets in the next 3 overs. Mills, the left arm option as well, excellent slow ball, got a different variety of slow ball as well. And he's a guy who can clock 150. He can clock 150, he puts his really back into it. So I'm excited by him. I'm extremely excited by Liam Livingston, obviously, as well. Again with him, his form over the last 6 to 8 months, he's just catapulted himself into the limelight, especially we saw in the 100. He was named MVP in the losing course of Birmingham Phoenix, but he looks phenomenal. Did okay as well a few days ago for Rajasthan, in the kind of similar pitches that we'll find in the World Cup, obviously. So I'm
Also,
excited about him.
another thing about Timal Mills is I hope Morgan, if he's in the playing 11, utilizes him in the middle overs and the death overs, someone like Lockie Ferguson, because If he's played in the power play, I'm pretty sure he'll get spanned for at least 15 and over. But in the middle overs and in the dead overs, he can bring back the control as we saw, what Lockie Ferguson did in the previous matches.
I think it's an excellent point that because you might go with the Wilkes and the Wood opening up, or possibly even Sam Curran with a left arm option. Opening the bowling, and then like I said, then Wilkes maybe first change. Mills come off the sixth over. Obviously, he's going to turn to Rashid as well, won't he? He's got a deal Rashid there. He's got Mo and Ali there as well. I think all those guys will play. I look at the balance of the side now. If I read it, for me, the team is probably going to read Butler will open with Roy. Then I think that Milan will come in at 3. I think Bairstow will come in at 4. I think Livingston will come in at 5. Then you could have a situation where Mo and Ali comes in at 6. And then you have Wilkes at 7. Let's see, make sure I'm missing anyone here. Wilkes at 7.
Morgan?
Oh, sorry. How could I miss Captain Morgan? Fucking heck. So you'll probably have. I still like the idea of Livingston at 5 rather than Morgan. So
What
I
I
think
was
Morgan,
thinking
Livingston
is-
5-6.
What I was thinking is play Livingston at 3, get rid of Milan at all. Don't play him.
I would agree, but I think Milan will start. I think Milan will, because they invested so much time with Milan at 3. I think he will play, and I think Milan will go at 3. I agree with you, but let's say that Milan does play. So I think he will play. I think Livingston and Morgan obviously 5-6, Moen at 7, and then you got Wilkes, Rash, Mills, and Wood. But then Sam Curran's not there. You see, it's just the conundrum they're going to face.
Yeah.
You see, then do you drop Milan? Do you fit in Sam Curran? But then if Moen's coming at 6, Curran at 7, Wilkes at 8, your round is 6 to 8, and then you've got Wood, Rash, and Mills 9, 10, 11. You might be a batsman light, and I
You've
think
got Willie sitting out.
Willie won't play for sure. He won't start. I think they'll pick Sam Curran over Willie. Billings won't play either, and then they've got who else did not pick there? Chris Jordan. I don't see a start off initially, and obviously it's a Milan or Sam Curran. That could be the question. So I agree that I feel like maybe Milan these pitches will not fare so well. And the problem with Milan, he's dropping form since really the India tour 6 months ago. The drop in form has been the worst timing for him because he's already under a cloud, a big question mark already about his position in the side. It's always been that kind of Joe Root-sized shadow hovering over him for the last 2 years. And to fall out of form, he wasn't even making the Punjab side. Aidan Markram has obviously replaced, hasn't he? So, Milan didn't go, did he? Milan withdrew from the
Milan
IPL.
pulled up, yeah.
Sorry, Milan pulled. Apologies. Like I said, guys, it's on the fly, so I'm just not fully prepared. But Milan's obviously not there. So, but I still think, really, on base of Aidan Markram's recent form for South Africa, I think Markram would have picked Milan anyway for Punjab. So, so I think that's probably going to be my side. But I think if Milan flops the first couple of games, you could well see, throw a helpful and say, you know what, screw it. Let's go with Moeen, Wilkes, and Sam Curran, 6, 7, 8. And hope. Sam Curran, we know, can play T20s. He's open the batting for Punjab. Has he opened for
CSK?
Did he open for CSK as well?
Yeah. No, he didn't open for Punjab. He opened for CSK.
No, he opened for Punjab with Gale, didn't he? A couple of times he opened alongside Gale.
Maybe.
I'm sure he opened, didn't he? Yeah, he did open a couple of times, and this is like 2 years ago. But anyway, so I think if we talk about, I'll go to you now, Si. In terms of the style of cricket you imagine England to adopt with that lineup we discussed, with maybe the one tweak here and there, do you think the approach is going to be, as we've seen really the last 4 or 5 years, aggression first? Or
I believe it has to be aggression first, right? Because that's Morgan's ideology, and Morgan has, idolized Baz McCallum as his mentor to be that, and McCallum's style of play has always been hit the ball, see the ball, hit the ball. That is it. Now, saying that, I do not feel Milan fits into this style of play at all, because what's his strike rate? 118 to 20 maximum. He can maximum play at a strike rate of 135, not more than that. But looking at Jason Roy, Josh Butler, they can all strike at 170s, they can all strike at 140s too. So looking at that, and in the UAE,
best of 4 as well.
Yeah, best
and
of 4
Livingston as well.
Livingston is like he strikes at around 220 against 150 plus pace. So you have that advantage too. So I think the style of play has to be, aggression, along with Morgan. If he comes back in form, we can know what he can do right on the pitch. So along with that, you've got Moeen Ali, you've got Sam Curran, you've got Chris Wokes, even Timal Mills can hit a few. So yeah, that has to be the style of play.
Cool. Okay. No, thank you. So, I mean, how do you evaluate England's chances in this tournament?
I would say they would make it to the finals if they can cross over West Indies, of course.
Their squad is Australia, South Africa. Let me get this squad. So I can't remember now.
West
I know Australia.
Indies, South Africa, Australia, England, I guess. Yeah, that's the group.
Yeah, I just got here. Just yeah, that's. I mean, oh, that's the first round. Just quickly. Yeah, Australia. Yeah, England, South Africa, West Indies, in the two qualifiers, and then India. Well, it's India, Afghanistan, New Zealand, Pakistan, and then two qualifiers. So we'll get to India in a very short while. But yeah, I mean, I think we said before. I think with England, I think the squad's fairly balanced. You've got the combination of they've got right arm orthodox, you've got the right arm leggy, you've got left arm raw pace now with Mills, and you've got more canny pace with left arm Willie, left arm Curran. You've got raw pace with Wood, right arm over, obviously. Chris Wokes a wily canny bowler, which I'm so happy that he's come back into the side. So I think they've got a lot of bases covered. They've got left hand batting options, obviously, with Milan and Morgan. They've got the power at the top of the order of Roy, Bairstow, and Butler. It looks a very, very formidable side if you look at it. And the key as well for me, that nucleus has been there for 2, 3, 4 years. The likes of Wood, the likes of obviously Butler, Bairstow, Morgan. Milan's been there for some time now. These guys, Chris Jones been in the round set up for pretty much for 5, 6 years now. These guys are, I mean, Sam Crumman's been ushered to the side over the last 12 months, but he's found real success in the white ball arena. So these guys, it's not like, what I look at sample Australia, I don't think they even know who's their best 11. There's a lot of questions going in. I think that doesn't make for a good, good performance at a major tournament. I feel like England are very well settled, as are India, as we're going to now actually. So I think it's a good segue into discussing India now. So if I quickly bring up India's squad, we've got Virat Kohli captain, obviously the last time in charge of the T20 side before he bows out. Rohit Sharma, obviously captain waiting as the vice captain there. K. Rahul, Surya Kumar Yadav, Rishabh Pant, Ishan Kishan makes a squad. Hardik Pandya, Ravinder Jadeja, Rahul Chahar, Ravi Ashwin makes a return. Axar Patel, Chakravarti, obviously after his weight issues being dropped from the side or dropped from the squad, makes the cut. Jaspreet Bumrah, Bhuvneshwar Kumar is there, and Mohammad Shami with standby plays. Shreyas Iyer coming off the excellent knock in Sunrise a couple of days ago. Charlotte Dakor and Deepak Chahar is there as the third standby player. So obviously, Sion, this is your bread and butter now, mate, for the India side. So first of all, what is your thoughts on the selection?
So the selections have been fairly good enough. However, I feel they did miss a trick by not taking someone like Yuzvendra Chahal, because however bad he might be right now, but he has been India's premier bowler spinner in the past couple of years, right? Along with that, I do not see India making it into the finals because looking at their top three, everyone strikes. So even if they play someone like Rohit Sharma, Virat Kohli, KL Rahul, three of them play at a strike rate of 112 to 120 maximum, as we saw yesterday also. So Rohit Sharma made a 33 out of 30. We haven't seen that Rohit Sharma, the giant that we know in the past couple of years. So that is one of the problems. And also, Surya Kumar Yadav hasn't been in form for 2 matches. Ishan Kishan hasn't been in form this year, I would say, except for the England T20s, maybe. Um, Also, along with that, Hardik Pandya fitness issues, because he's our premier all rounder. We don't have another pace all rounder going around. You can consider Shardul Thakur as a bowling all rounder, maybe, and Deepak Chahar as a bowling all rounder, not as batting all rounder. Hardik Pandya, although he batted in the Sri Lanka series, he was in shit form, right? So that is one of the biggest concerns. Another concern is Jasprit Bumrah, because we saw how he got spanked yesterday and the match before, right? He went for around 40 odd yesterday in 3 overs. Although he took 3 wickets, but only one of them was a proper peach of a delivery wicket. Um, Deepak Chahar has been in good form, although he has not been selected. I do not know about Bhuvneshwar Kumar because he's a walking hospital, right? So
That surprised me. I think Boovy is not the same Boovy of he was a Sunrisers fan of 2 or 3 years ago. He feels like maybe all these injuries are getting to him now.
1 second.
Yeah, no worries, man. Cyan just pulled off for a second there. Cyan is there in Kolkata. You can see, and don't you just love the sounds, man? Absolutely love the sounds. You can hear like the vehicles and cars going by. It's amazing.
Yeah.
I can hear. You know what? Just quickly, very quickly. There's like in the background, I can hear like vehicles and stuff. Is that like your tuk tuks and all that? Is it
No,
they actually?
it's the cars going.
I know cars, but do you have like the other vehicles, like vehicles that you would? Is it just very?
Yeah. We do have those. Hmm.
That's like personal taxis, right? To get to small journeys.
Yeah, no, not personal. I would say it's like public cars.
You can go far with them. You can go like 10 miles,
Nah,
15 miles.
you can go about for a duration of maximum 20 to 25 minutes. Not more than
Okay, cool. Just hey, I was just saying now. Listen, it's great, man. I love that. Sorry, carry on. Apologies, Simon. Carry on.
that. Along with the spinners, Rahul Char has not been in form for a long time. In the Sri Lanka series, also he has not picked that many wickets as many we expected him to be. However, Varun Chakravarti has been in brilliant form. Ravi Ashwin, we still have to see because in the DC match there was not much to do for him, and he didn't bowl that well too. So the spinners are a bit of concern. The openers are concerned. The whole batting lineup is a bit of concern. So yeah, that's how India's faring right now.
When was the last time Ashton played a T20 match for India?
2016.
Wow. They put him back in there. I feel a bit sorry for Yuvendra Chahal, because he was very much a part of the setup for so long. We saw him this year against England, a few months ago,
True.
and now he's been jettisoned out of the whole squad. He's not even part of the reserves.
Yeah.
Is he? He's not part of the
No,
reserves.
no,
Is
no.
he?
He's not part of it.
No, I mean literally, he must be gutted. That guy, he must be
True.
gutted.
I mean, even his wife is part of T20 World Cup campaign, and he's not.
My word. But I saw Axel Patel's in there. You got the left arm option.
Yeah, that's a surprise. That's a surprise pick actually because Akshar Patel, what does he provide you? He doesn't provide you except for the left arm option. Then he bowls straight, except for on dusty pitches he just bowls straight. And in T20s he hasn't been that efficient, right? So I don't know why he was picked.
Maybe if the come against the side with right arm heavy, right batsman heavy, then maybe they look at maybe horse for courses potentially and bring him in ahead of maybe a Chakravarti potentially, or an Ashwin, whoever gets picked. Obviously, Jadeja's there as well. They might be looking at potentially with Jadeja's injuries recently that Axel Patel could be the deputy for Jadeja. Jadeja gets injured, like for potentially as close as they've got to a like for like replacement. Who would be your 11?
So hearing what they said that Virat and Rohit would open, so Virat, Rohit, Surya Kumar, then I would go. One second, let me just get the. So Virat, Rohit, Surya Kumar, um, Ishan Kishan maybe, Pant at 5, then Hardik Pandya, Jadeja. So
And
makes
Carroll?
7. No, Kerala doesn't make it if he doesn't open right.
Really?
Yeah,
So you'd have Ishan Kishan over Carroll.
Yeah, because Ishan Kishan can play at a higher strike rate. And strike rate is the main thing in T20. KL Rahul doesn't make it because he does need those 15-20 balls to settle in. Right. The KL Rahul of now. So along with that, Rishabh Pant, then Hardik Pandya, Jadeja, Chakravarti, Ashwin, Bumrah, Bhuvi.
Boovy plays.
Yeah, Bhuvi plays because he's. I mean, you can't pick a Mohammad Shami over Bhuvneshwar Kumar in the first match, right? You would go for someone like Bhuvneshwar Kumar because he has had those accolades.
I look at the side you've read out and look at the squad. I wonder why Shreyas Iyer is not there. I'm questioning that. I have to be honest with you. I'm questioning Shreyas Iyer's not being in the 15. I know he's part of Charlton reserves, but I feel like potentially a batsman light, as you said. The worry could be the batting with India. What I can see there. Um, I like Kero. I'll be honest with you. Why can't Kohli bat at three?
No,
And you
I'm
know,
going like I'm
and KO comes in.
yeah, Kerala would definitely come in if I would make an ideal 11. But the 11 I'm talking about is the realistic 11 that Kohli said back during the England T20s what he would go for. So he said that he would open in the T20 World Cup, right? And that's what he's been doing in IPL also. So seeing that, I guess he'll be opening. But I don't really like the idea of Kohli opening.
Where's his best position for you, in your opinion?
Best position would be number 4.
I was going to say, yeah, because he's a guy who can build, takes 5, 6 balls to get going, and can build us. He reminds you of Joe Root in the way he plays T20 cricket. He's not this aggressive like Andre Russell, Karen Pollard, Hardik Pandya, go and score like 26 off 8 balls. AB de Villiers style. It's more he'll build an innings. I think four's good position for him. With K. Roll, maybe Surya Kumar Yadav and Rohit Sharma 1 to 3 potentially. But I look at the batting, I think,
They're
that might be the
weak.
weakness. That could be
Yeah.
the weakness there.
Also, bowling is their weakness. I'm not gonna lie, Bhuvi's not been in form for a long time. Even in Sri Lanka ODIs, he got spanked badly. And
Why is
you're bad when you're getting spanked by Sri Lanka.
but why is Ashwin been parachuted into the squad? What's that about?
Because if you see, we do not have an off spinner, a premier off spinner, right? If you look into the squad, what do we have? We have got a mystery spinner in Chakravarti. We've got a leg spinner in Rahul Char, left arm spin in Akshar Patel and Jadeja. We do not have an off spinner, and an off spinner is something that you need for left hand heavy sides, for something like West Indies, I would say, or even to some extent England, because you do have your power hitters as left-handers, right? Sam Curran,
Yeah.
Moeen Ali, Morgan. So, but big concern is Hardik Pandya also.
Yeah.
If he is not in form, we are dead.
He's that glue, isn't it, in the middle? That glue in
Yeah.
the middle. Because if there's no one really. I look at that side, like you said before. I don't see anyone really taking his place if he gets injured, for example. Shana
Because
Dako and Deepak Chahar, he can come in, but they're not the same. There's no real like-for-like replacements for
so
Hardik
there
Pandya.
are 3 uh, pace all-rounders going around in India right now. Shivam Dubey, Hardik Pandya, Vijay Shankar. Only one of them can be taken into the 11. There's another one, but he's relatively a lot newer. And you saw him play yesterday. It's Venkatesh Iyer. That guy also bowls medium pace. But it would be too fast to get him into the Indian side, right?
I think next World Cup, next year.
Maybe. And I think he has played from the position of an opener to 9 down. He's played all.
Really?
Yeah.
That's crazy. His whole thing is amazing. His story is absolutely incredible. Look, he looks absolute class. India found someone there big time. And the funny thing is, he's actually 27 his next birthday. He's not he's not young. He's not old, but he's not young. Do you know what I mean? He's not like a raw 90-year-old coming through. He's plied his trade. He knows his game. But yeah. Anyway, for another day. But so on that basis, where do you see India finishing up in this tournament?
I think they'll clear the group stages easily into the quarter.
You've got New Zealand, Afghanistan, and Pakistan plus 2 qualifiers.
Hopefully, if all of our 11 contribute, we can see ourselves go to the finals, and hopefully we don't get West Indies in semi-finals at Sharjah, because that would be a nightmare.
Who are you backing to win the tournament this time?
West Indies.
Really?
Yeah, one last goodbye for Chris Gale.
I'm gonna say, I'm not very. You know me. We know many stream. I'll have a pop at England in the test team because I just think they're bang average, but their white ball side are extremely good. I think England will win this. I think England will win.
Maybe.
I think if they don't make the final, they failed.
An ideal final would be between England and West Indies. I'm not going to lie. I don't see India in that ideal final. Right. An ideal bang final. A final that goes with a bang. It would be West Indies versus England. Because England bowlers are such that they can get spanked on their day and they can take wickets on their day also. And West Indies batsmen, right?
I would like this because I want to get retribution and revenge for 2016. Personally,
Yeah.
I'd love
True.
it for that. I'd love it for that. I'd love it for that. In fact, what we should do is possibly for the final, or if England play India, we should do a watch along. We should do a watch along because that'll be crazy, man. That'll be wicked. To watch
Yeah,
along with
true.
everyone, all the guys and stuff, man. Anyway, I think we can kind of wrap it up there. Is there anything you want to say before we go, Sion?
No, I think these two teams have pretty good chances of getting to the final and winning the trophy also. Although I don't see, don't kill me, but I don't see India winning under Kohli. Although this might be his last time, he's not winning it.
Interesting. Actually, speaking of Virat Kohli, that'll be the next show when we get the guys back. Everyone, I think it's about Virat Kohli dropping the captaincy, his future, and his general kind of demeanor over the last 12 months. I think it's a very fascinating subject. So we'll talk about that in another time. But anyway, Sai, thanks so much. Where can we find you quickly before we go?
Okay, so you can find me on Twitter at Jaffa Merchant and on Instagram at Bustionat.
Cool. Thanks so much for coming on, man. I know it's obviously middle of your day, and but yeah, I will. I'll catch you soon.
Sure. Cheers. Bye.
Cool. Take care. Thanks, guys. Cheers.